This is me documenting the start of my clothing brand and just the process throughout it. I am not good at vlogging at all, but I'm just gonna try to go with it. I'm just gonna be documenting like the things that I do for my clothing brand and things like that, the behind the scenes and whatnot, and just updates on my life, with the clothing brand involved and things like that, and also what I'm learning, what are some obstacles that I'm facing, because I think that a lot of the things that I have experienced and learned from will benefit other people. Right now, my Instagram, so right now, this is my Instagram page at 4.9K followers. I wish I started vlogging earlier, maybe like 2 weeks or 3 weeks earlier, because that's when I was seeing crazy growth. But it's okay, because at least I'm starting now, so it's better late than never. I don't know, this whole vlogging thing is kind of weird because I'm kind of just talking to myself, and it's but yeah, 4.9 on the reels. The reels have been doing really good, and let me just pull up my TikTok right here. 6.8K on the TikTok, which is crazy. I never thought that I could do that organically with TikTok. So yeah, the third video that I posted, 300K views. When I first started this clothing brand, I just wanted to wear clothes that I would wear, to be honest, or I wanted to wear cool clothes that haven't been made before. That sounds kind of like general. When I created this piece, I actually had I had this sample done. I originally was going to name my brand Silent Riot, because I thought that, or the meaning of Silent Riot was to resemble all of the like personal difficulties and sufferings and obstacles that people were dealing with, and the silent part is like how everyone has to keep it inside, or they don't have to, but a lot of people choose to keep it inside, and riot is kind of just like, that fight that they have inside. So yeah, that hoodie was meant to drop on Silent Riot, but I think I got the sample done and it was in my hands in about let me see, January, February, somewhere around February. But yeah, it kind of just, I wore it to school a couple of times, and then maybe, yeah, I just like wore it out maybe once or twice, and then it kind of just sat in my room and I didn't know what to do with it, and then I kept on designing. Let me go get my iPad. This is about to be a long ass video. My storage is gonna go out. But before I started designing Ninjago stuff, I know a lot of people saw like this hoodie. Let me turn on my brightness. A lot of people saw like this hoodie that I made, and then I know like that was really short-lived because I was kind of like, biting off of other brands and whatnot. But then yeah, and then I created, this is the first rough draft of the Kai hoodie that I made, and as you guys can see, it's an absolutely horrible mock-up. I literally did not know how to make mock-ups at the time, and I feel like that's, yeah, first tip. I think mock-ups are really overrated and overthought about in the very first part of, the process of making a piece. And here are the logos for Silent Riot, the bullet and then like the SR. But yeah, it's kind of cool to just look back on the different designs that I had. And then here is when I first started getting the idea of actually, making the Kai zip up. This looks a lot closer to the final product, as you guys can see that. I got a little bit better with textures and stuff like that. And then like I started making other ninjas. But then, as brands like Peace and War and like I Hate Stars started, going viral and stuff, I kind of just felt like I had to fit in, and then like, make designs that were similar to theirs, or also like, visually pleasing with their kind of aesthetic, which was like the war aesthetic or like the nostalgic aesthetic. That's why I made like designs like these with all the poems and stuff on the front, which like now that I look at them, they're not bad necessarily, but it's just kind of like the same stuff over and over again, which, now looking back at it, I don't want, like, I really didn't want to do that. And then also I made the camo pants, if I can find those. And honestly, here we go. Well, I took inspiration from the GV Gallery brand, and then I made like these and then I have samples of these, or I have a sample of them, but you know, it's kind of just felt like, oh, it's cool. Maybe maybe people would buy it, maybe people wouldn't buy it, but I just felt so generic, and like I felt like I was making clothes because like other people would like it, not because like I enjoyed making them. That's when I had this era of, you know, this whole just war designs and stuff like that, corny war designs with all the ammo, the bullets and stuff like that. And I don't know, I just feel like as a brand, as a new clothing brand, you have to really focus on what you want to revolve your brand around, and kind of like the personality of your brand. And I think it's okay to like revolve it and use the war aesthetic or the nostalgic aesthetic, but you also have a bunch of other people who have already done it successfully, like Peace and More and like I Hate Stars. So it would be really hard to, you know, be successful in that kind of niche, since there are already established, you know, brands that, you know, ship and stuff like that and that are really successful. So then I was like, you know what, I still have this this sample of the Kai hoodie right here. I still have this, you know. And then I was like, one day I was bored, I had nothing to do, I went outside, took some pictures of it, and then I also, you know, really thought about you know, the environment I should be in when I post in this when I post like and market this piece. And I was like, what better environment to be in, what better environment, and I thought to myself, like, what, like a garden, or like a Japanese garden or a Japanese dojo would be really nice to, you know, film in. And I think that's another tip, is to really focus on the aesthetic of your piece, and also kind of like, you know, what does my piece look good in, and what would it look good in, what surroundings would it look good in. So yeah, I feel like a lot of people overlook that part, and I think a lot of people just resort to the graffiti background, or, you know, the abandoned background, or, you know, something that's like really streetwear and edgy and stuff like that. But, you know, if I put a ninja inside of a graffiti or a broken down, you know, abandoned place, that would really not fit. I know that seems really obvious, but not looking at brands, you know, in my For You page and in like TikTok comments and things like that, I feel like they overlook that, and they, you know, always go towards the designing and then like the mock-ups, trying to perfect their mock-ups, when really they should be focusing on, you know, the background and the personality of their brand. And I feel like I'm in no place to talk and critique other brands and things like that, but I do have some sort of, you know, motion here, and I am learning a lot of things, and the things that I'm applying, and the tips that I'm applying are, you know, working for me. So I'm just saying what I'm observing, and, you know, I'm just putting it out there, and I really think that if other people could do that, then, or could apply that advice, they would, you know, see success in it. But yeah, after that, you know, I got a lot of different things opened up for me, and I also have this, which is probably gonna drop by the time I edit this video, these mesh shorts based off of the NRG minifigure. So here's the front, and then here's the back. So yeah, I just got these in hand today. I'm really super stoked to drop these. I'm really excited because it's the end of summer, or no, it's the start of summer. So yeah, I'm super excited for that. And also, I honestly don't know what else to talk about. I'm now working with a team of marketers, or, you know, freelance brand scalers, and I was really hesitant at first to work with them, you know, and then like, you know, kind of trust them, because at first when I started this brand, I had an idea of how to market. I've always been passionate about marketing, and so basically what I did was, instead of normal influencer marketing, where, you know, I told them to repost my brand and then pay them like $10-15 to post my post on their story, I looked at different fan pages of Ninjago. So say like so my niche is Ninjago, obviously. Sorry, my bitch ass friend is texting me right now. Fucking Diego. So my niche is Ninjago, right? So I feel like there's a lot of different niches that have fan pages, or like just literal pages that just post about that content daily, and then they have crazy followings. Another example of a niche that I've seen is Arcane. Arcane is literally like one of the biggest shows out right now. So I've seen like tons of fan pages and like editing accounts on TikTok and Instagram. More on TikTok, but on Instagram there are a lot of meme pages that make memes about or with these niches. So I kind of thought out of the box, and I hit up a couple fan pages or like meme pages, but with this specific niche. So that means their audience likes that specific niche, which in my case is Ninjago, and I pay them a lot cheaper than it would be to work with like an influencer who has a crazy ego and thinks that their views are worth like thousands of dollars. So instead I came to someone who has maybe 20K followers or 30K followers, but hasn't had the opportunity to promote, and then I gave them the opportunity to promote for me, and basically you just pay them a little bit of money to post your content on their platform. So you're not making them repost it because it's not their actual post. It's not going to get that engagement. If you just pay someone a shitload of money to repost your thing, you're not going to get, real engagement on your post. So basically I had them actually post my content on their platform. So now their platform and all of their audience and their future audience, their potential audience, is going to be attracted to that post, which has that niche. So that was super successful in the beginning. Sorry, my throat is fucked. Yeah, so that was super successful in the beginning. You see like thousands and thousands of views. But another thing that I learned is that when you give someone the opportunity to do something, especially when they can easily do it and take advantage of you, most likely they will take advantage of you. Especially if you don't know who you're working with. In my case, I won't get too specific or into detail. So I worked with someone and they had a certain amount of followers, not too many followers, maybe around 20K, the 20K mark, and basically we had a contract that laid out the details of our collaboration, and basically it was really simple. I didn't really want to have a contract in the first place, but I'll just cut the bullshit. So basically I was paying them almost, I think, $10 per reel, which is that's a lot of money just to post something on your platform, right? That's a lot of money to just click some buttons and post on your page. You really, like, I was giving people pre-made videos just to post on their platform, and I paid them $10 just to post it on their platform with a couple hashtags. So yeah, that was doing really well. And then I even give them a bonus if, say, it went over 40K views. So then I was doing that, and then all of a sudden one day the video got, I think, over 100,000 views or something like that. And then immediately this person came up to me and was like, oh, like, this got a lot of views, can I have more money? And then I was like, that's not how it works, But yeah, I just feel like knowing where you stand as a brand and as, a business owner, an entrepreneur, you need to know your worth. I think that's another thing that I learned. You need to know when other people are, pushing buttons that they shouldn't be pushing, when they're taking advantage of you, and you need to automatically just cut that tie. And you really need to find people that are in the same headspace as you. And I'm not talking about other clothing brand owners that are just doing it because oh yeah, it's a clothing brand, it might seem fun or things like that. But you need people that think pretty much the same as you in terms of like that kind of growth mindset where everything's can be looked at as a positive, because I've talked to so many different people, and then like I show them my designs and things like that, and the first thing they say is, oh yeah, I don't really like this thing, or I don't like that thing. And I'm open to constructive criticism, but you really want to stay away from people whose first impression or first action is to critique or to think negatively about something, because that's not really what you need when you're in an environment where you need to be constantly growing and creating. So yeah, I think right now I'm still finding people that, you know, can work with me, because it actually is really hard to maintain a clothing brand like by myself, and I haven't even dropped yet. So it's kind of crazy. I'm dropping in like 4 days. What's today? Monday. Yeah, so like 3.5-ish days. I'm really excited. I have like 6,000 sessions right now, almost. Yeah, 6,000 sessions right now, almost 7,000. I'm super excited. I'm working with some freelance brand scalers right now, Trey and Zika. And I'm actually, at first I was really like hesitant on working with them, just because I've never worked with, you know, people who did stuff like that before, or like people who are that knowledgeable. But yeah, we hopped on a call. It was pretty effective actually, and productive, and you know, we just got straight to the chase. And now I'm working with them, and actually it's been really good so far. I'm pretty grateful that I chose them out of, you know, all of the other people that were offering to scale my brand for me, or and stuff like that. But yeah, I think you really, what I saw in them was that they weren't greedy at first. You know, no, like they weren't like, the first thing that I saw about them was that they weren't greedy. So that was a really good thing. I would like, they weren't pushy about payments, things like that. And then, you know, they really wanted to grow their own thing. And that's another thing. You need to have people around you that won't try to leech off of your success, and they will help you grow, and then they will take inspiration from that and then grow themselves and things like that. And if I sound like I'm some sort of, you know, hothead that, you know, has done such great things, I'm not trying to sound like that. But I do believe that I have put in a lot of work into this brand, and I feel like a lot of people have already, you know, because like someone already tried to take my designs and things like that. But yeah, just surrounding yourself with people, I think that's such a common thing. Like, oh yeah, surround yourself with who you want to be, but it really is like that important, to surround yourself with people who you want to be, not just, you know, not just people who are like you or like think like you, but also people who are like really ambitious and things like that. I think I'm kind of just yapping at this point, but yeah, I'm probably gonna be vlogging on the day of the drop, June 13th. Today is June 9th, 10:41 p.m. Yeah, I think that's it.